Today, we'd like to welcome you to the Teacher Voices workshop on diversity and differentiation. It's the third workshop in November, third and final in November, but we'll be having some in December. And I have to warn you that we'll be recording this session. Okay. So let's see what we're going to be talking about. First of all, welcome right now, and we'll also be talking about the workshop protocol do's and don'ts. Then we'll be talking about the aims of today's Teacher Voices workshop, and the main subject today, or subjects, is they're twofold: are differentiation and diversity. Then I will introduce our guests, and there will be a presentation of the Althira in Valencia, Spain, and London Exchange, London, England, of course. Your questions about the Althira London Exchange and next steps. Okay, so this is the workshop protocol. This is so all of the attention is on our guest speaker and our interviewer. So please mute your microphones and keep your cameras off for the moment, okay? You can ask questions in the public chat and they will remain in the chat, and then we can look at those later because we'll be answering questions at the end of the workshop. Okay, you can raise your virtual hand if you want to intervene in the Q&A at the end. Okay, so first of all, we're going to look at the eLive project mission. It's on the screen, but I'm going to read it anyway. The eLive project brings together experts in the field of foreign language education, intercultural virtual exchange, teacher education, school education, and technology-enhanced pedagogy from France, the Netherlands, and Spain. The consortium addresses crucial digital pedagogical innovation and social needs for enhancing inclusive, intercultural, communicative competence development and digital literacies through the pedagogical integration of virtual exchange projects at language teacher education institutions and schools. That's a bit of a mouthful, but you can also find it on the eLive webpage. To go there, all you have to Google is eLive and project, and you'll get there. Okay, the keywords of today's workshop. Well, as I mentioned before, the two main ones are diversity and differentiation, but the topics of intercultural awareness, class-based learning, computer-assisted language learning, blended learning, CLEAL, and in this case, tandems will also be mentioned. Okay, just a couple of very simple definitions of differentiation and diversity. There are many out there. Differentiation refers to tailoring instruction to meet individual students' needs, or what is almost the same, the teacher's response to students' needs. With regards to diversity, the almost infinite variety of life experiences and individual attributes that each person brings to the language classroom. Okay, a little overview of the Althira. Remember, Althira is a little town near Valencia, and London Exchange. A general overview. First, we'll start off with the people who are least important, right? The coaches. So that is Begoña Clavel Arroitia and myself at the Universitat de Valencia here in Spain, and Elena Vilar Beltran from Queen Mary University, and Sabela Melchor Couto, who was at the time at the University of Roehampton. Okay, then the most important people of all are the students, and they did a tandem English and Spanish, and the teachers in charge were Pilar Pellicer and our guest, Oscar Balseiro. Okay, Oscar Balseiro, a teacher in primary education, and we're glad to say a friend of ours. He participated in the Tekola project, and specifically in the Althira London Exchange. He is from St. Joseph's School, Camberwell Catholic Schools Federation in London, the UK.
Very short name, yeah.
Very short name, exactly. and a primary school in Alfira, which is called Gloria Fuertes, who was a famous author. Okay, the exchange was in primary education, and the main objective or focus of the exchange was using English and Spanish and learning about each other's cultures. We're also very pleased to have with us our interviewer for today, Manuel Fernandez Mena. He is a teacher in primary education at the Colegio Santo Ángel Badajoz, which is in Extremadura in Spain. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Very rude of me. I didn't say hello. So
no
everyone.
You have a chance now because the floor is yours. Okay.
Okay. Let's start then.
Okay. So first of all, Oscar, can you describe us a bit your school and its special characteristics?
Okay, yeah, sure. So if I have to say one word to describe my school, I will say diversity. Okay, and that diversity will be in multiple ways: ethnically, okay, linguistically, of course, culturally and socially as well. 84% of our children have English as a second language. Okay, so what we call like EAL children, so English as an additional language, and main backgrounds are African, yeah, and South American. It's a very challenging area. You can see the building over there, and low-income families, and that has a big impact when it comes to teaching, and we will see that later on for sure.
Okay, so now as an introduction, tell us why did you get involved in the first place?
The first place, I thought, I always tried my whole life, I always try to make learning fun and engaging, and I really wanted to find new ways to get it. So I thought to give it a try, and I wanted to show children as well that technologies can be used for their own learning and not just to play video games, yeah. And it was a challenge for me as well. I'm not really the best at dealing with technology, so I thought that it would be a good opportunity for me to get better on that. So those are the main reasons why I got involved in the TECOLA project. Yeah.
Okay. And talking about the children, what did you want the exchange to help your pupils with?
What I wanted to show is that the Spanish is not only a subject, one more subject, as it could be like maths or any other. It's more a skill, and it's something that can be very useful, as a useful skill. And that's what we got when we did the TECOLA project. They got to use the basic Spanish that they had to talk to other children. And for the first time, they saw that it wasn't something that they could use to talk to me. It was something that it could be used to talk to someone else and to get to know each other as they did. And one more time, we will see that later on. So yeah, mainly to show that the Spanish is not just a subject, it's something else.
Right. And for you personally, what did you want to get out of this?
Yeah, I wanted professional development, of course. And one more time, the main thing for me is to have fun. If I don't have fun that day, I think I will stop teaching. I will do something else. So that was the main two reasons for me. Yeah.
Okay. And those goals, do you think this exchange was engaging for the students?
It was very engaging, but you will decide by yourself later. I will show you, and we will show you why we believed and we know we're sure that it was, but you will have your own opinion later on as well.
Okay. Okay, tell me about the main characteristics of your class.
Yeah, the class that I had, in fact, it was like I mixed two different groups. I got kind of half and half, and it was year 5 and year 6. In total, I had 30 students, roughly, yeah. We had some SEN children, so children with special needs, and technical setup that we needed to do our exchange was like smart boards, of course, computers or tablets, internet connection that sometimes is not as good as we want, and a projector, microphones, basic stuff. Because as I told you, our area is kind of it's a challenging area in terms of even financially as well, no? And we have to use what we had, and that was what is really what we had and what we still have nowadays. And we have to talk. Next slide, please, Barry. And if we need to talk about the other group, they had only 20 children. Okay, they were year 6. They had no special needs, and the main difference between our group and my group and the other group was the level of Spanish that they had. The technical setup, as you can see there, was exactly the same. And I think that's the main thing. You know, if we want to talk a little bit about both groups, that's the main thing I want to mention. Yeah.
And about the diversity and differentiation, what can you tell us about this during this exchange?
So we should think every time that we talk about diversity, some people believe that is something negative, and I really think that the people should start thinking about that as something very, very positive, and you will see it later as well. We have different backgrounds, we have different cultures, and that really helps the children to understand that if they want to be respected, they need to respect the others as well. And not only the children, we really learn how to understand, you know, the way that they react sometimes, and that makes them like grow, yeah. And differentiation. If we talk about differentiation as well, we have to understand that not every child have the same capacities, no, the same skills. So we need to take that into account always, always, always. And when we do that, we have to think of the content, yeah. So the knowledge and the skills that the student needs to master. And we have to think that we have high ability children, okay? We have just average children, and we have low ability children. So we need to, yes, you know, be flexible and believe that that happens in every single group. The second point will be that the process, no, the teachers differentiated the instructions, no, when you do the input, you have to make that difference, no, because you know that you have different levels, and the product that will be the activities that students use to master the content. Some of them might not need any kind of help after the explanation. Some of them need a word bank, for example, and the low ones might need a word bank and some images to understand what that word means. So you always have to think of that. And the main reason that we do that is because we want children not to feel frustrated, to feel part of the group always. No, if you just do one only level, how about the ones who cannot reach that, who cannot understand that? So they will not feel like they're part of the group. So that will be really like the frustration that they will feel like they don't really want to do it, they don't want to carry on, it's not for them. So what we try to do is like increase the engagement and avoid the frustration I mentioned, yeah, and for them to feel that they are part of the group, yeah. Next slide, please, Barry, yeah.
Okay, and regarding the objectives, sometimes it's difficult to achieve these objectives and create with the other partner. How did you negotiate these subjects?
It was a very easy one, very easy to negotiate that, because we both agreed that we want the exchange to be engaging and enjoyable, you know. So we want the children to enjoy it. It was for the children. So it's nice, and we really had fun as well. But if they didn't enjoy, there's no point. So what we did is we asked the children, what you want to do, what you want to know. So they picked the topics themselves. Of course, the topic, we checked that the topics that they chose, they were included in the curriculum, okay, of course. But they don't have to know that. We know that, but they don't have to know that. So they picked backgrounds. They wanted to talk about food. They wanted to talk about themselves, of course. And one more time, you will see there that is the benefit of diversity. If all of them were from Spain, okay, they will be talking about the same type of food, the same type of languages. No, but we have people from Nigeria, people from the Philippines, people from Spain, people from different backgrounds, and they shared information about fallas, and you will see a chat later about Easter in the Philippines, about chicken cholof, something like that in Nigeria. Very spicy one, I have to say. I cannot try anymore because I suffered that chicken. So it was really, really really fun. Okay, and it was like for them to, because they chose the topic, so it's what they really wanted to know, no? And it's what I wanted. I wanted them to pick, to make sure that it was within, like included in the curriculum, and to have fun, and it worked. It really worked.
Okay, great. And about the choices you have to make, how did you choose your task in the first place?
Just one more time, we wanted it to be engaging, and we thought, what can be really engaging for the children? And it came to our mind like video call. They need to see each other. They need to see that the child that is behind the computer is real, has a face, has a voice. And video call was I think it was the all of them were successful, but this one was the one that they really loved, because for the first time they saw Spanish is not a subject, it's a skill. I'm communicating with that person that is behind the camera, and it has a face, it has a mouth, and answers my question. So it was like it is real. So and we used both languages, Spanish and English. Because as I told you before, the difference, the proficiency was completely different, okay? So my children have Spanish once a week for 45 minutes. And the children in Valencia, in Alcira, they have English, like 4 times a week, something like that. And they are native speakers, so Spanish native speakers. So the level was completely different. So, but we found a way. We found a way because we were very flexible, and we will talk about being flexible later as well.
Okay, and how did you choose the technologies employed?
Well, as I told you, is what we had. We had computers, great. We had iPads, yes, very old, but I will tell you what happened later as well about the internet connection, and that's what they using that we chose one more time to talk about the names, the hobbies, the country of origin, because we didn't have, we didn't have other resources that could make us think about this other topics, other tasks. So it was mainly like exchanging information about each other, about their hobbies, what they like, what they don't like. So having this limited resources always is a handicap, of course. Is okay.
And how did you organize the time slots?
Time slots always was like thinking of, okay, we eat at school from 12:30 to 1:30. Children in Spain, they don't eat at school. So, okay, so we have to think that they finish at 2. I finish at 3. So we cannot use that slot in there. So I have to teach other subject in it. So we always had to talk to each other, like WhatsApp all the time. Like, Pilar, how about this time? Oh, I cannot make it because my children are already home. Oh, that's not good. But how about that? So it was like talking, finding being flexible one more time. So this word, you will hear this word all the time, being flexible, being creative, and trying to find the solution every time that we had a problem. Just find the solution. It was like that flexibility one more time. Yeah.
And you work with your children individually, in pairs, in groups?
The way we did it was like it was very, very, very easy to pair them, because we had exactly the same number of children. I had the same number that they had. Yeah. Because as I said that I had 30 and she had 20, but it doesn't mean that I used 30 of them to do the video call. Now, right now I'm talking more about the video call mainly, So we had boy, girl, because they told me that they would feel more comfortable. I always ask the children, because as I told you, this is for children. So there's no point in forcing something and if they feel uncomfortable. And another thing that we thought of, not only me, it was like the personality. So if you have someone who is very shy with another child who is very shy, you can imagine the interaction. It would be like, it wouldn't work. So we tried to pair someone who was very like alive, like like kind of cheeky, like and someone who was like shy, and they always get to push the shy one. So it really worked. One more time, it really worked.
Okay, great. And now we are going to talk about the task itself.
So
what was the pre-task?
The pre-task, what I did, it was for some of them I have to recap on some topics, and for some of them was like new topics. Okay, so we have sessions before doing the exchange. We have sessions. I had sessions with them. We use Padlet as well, as you can see there. In fact, this is a real example of what we did. So my children from home or even from my school were like just introducing themselves, and the other children from Valencia, hello, my name is whatever, I'm from here, pleased to meet you. So it was the first way that they started to know each other, to see that someone was there. Okay, but we prepared that. We have sessions, like I had sessions with them to prepare that, to prepare how to pronounce things, thinking of the video call, because they don't have to pronounce anything when they do the Padlet, it's just written there, no? And how to, well, we work with the word bank as well. We worked on greetings, hobbies, vocab, as I said, building sentences. And I even recorded their voices for them to check, oh, this is like kind of similar to what I had before. I can improve it. So we had many sessions before doing the video call. This is not like, okay, guys, video call, let's enjoy. No, it has, behind that, it's like when the dancers, you see the dancers on the stage, it's like, oh my God, they are so great. I said, yeah, but before that, they have to prepare that for hours and days and months. So we did the same. It's not like, oh, everything is ready without doing nothing at all. It's not. I wish. But it is not at all. Okay, so Padlet was a good tool to start for them to start to know each other.
Okay, and what about the task, the main task itself?
The main task is to share their own experiences here. And here I want to, please guys, if you don't mind, have a look at what you have in front of you. As you can see, this reel one more time is one of the chat that we had, and as you can see, they're talking about the fallas, yeah. And of course, for my children, African background, Philippines, they never heard about the fallas before. So they got to know about this for the first time. And in fact, after the chat, they kept asking me, but they really burned, they really do that, but they're so beautiful. How come that they want to burn that? I said, for them was kind of a wow, And please, Barry, can you move on to the next one? And as you can see here, guys, we're still talking about this task. It was really engaging for them. It was very nice because they had fallas one day before we had this chat. So it was like very recent, and they were still excited about what they lived the day before. And you can see how engaging it was. That's why I told you that it's not for me to say that it was engaging or it wasn't. You need to read like, oh, okay, I would like to know about them. So can you tell us something about it? So they really want to know. So they're asking, each other, please give me more information. This is not enough. Okay.
And after this task, the post task, how was it?
The post task. Okay, so the post task was, of course, I handed out people voice questionnaires, and I asked as well, please tell me how you felt, what you liked the most, what you didn't like, because sometimes it can happen that, you might think that it worked and they don't feel the same way, And this is for children, so they need to tell you. And guys, the way that they explained how much they enjoyed their faces, it was like, okay, that was worth it. It was really cool, really cool.
Tell us what were the most positive aspects of this.
The most positive for me was like their faces, as I said, but one more time, if the day that I stopped having fun teaching, I think that will be I will be thinking of doing something else, and I really had fun. Okay, one more time, guys. You have to make the effort. You have to be flexible. You have to find the time. You need to want to do it. Okay, if you are not convinced, then you have to be, but you will feel like, oh, this will work. Okay, I enjoy it so much, and look at my children, they're really still talking about it, this after weeks. They're like, you remember that? You remember when they told us? Do you remember what that person wrote? So that was the most positive one. Yeah, that was the one I enjoyed the most, 100%.
Great.
I love this picture. Thank you guys for adding this picture. This is a special picture for me because those children are not with me anymore, and I really miss them. Claude, Boynette, Princess. Oh my gosh, they're like year 9 already. Year 9. Yes. Okay. So sorry about interrupting. It's like a memory. Sorry about that. You can ask me now, Manuel. Is a question? No? No? Yes.
No, it was the same question.
Sorry, I got too excited about seeing my children in there. So yeah, guys, as you can see, they're really like paying attention. The thing is, like, Begonia was there, Barry was there, like 2 people, outsiders, coaching them. They did great activities as well. They talked about Christmas, and they brought some presents. Of course, the children love the presents. And I don't know, man, it was very engaging. It was really like, it was cool. It was cool. I still cannot stop looking at the picture. I love this picture. Sorry about that. That's it.
Okay. So since this is your second project, what things do you think we need improvement?
Okay, improvement. The only thing that didn't work last time when we did the Tekola was that our children couldn't access the virtual world. Okay, they were very excited about that because I talked about that, but it wasn't for them. Vocabulary was very, very tricky. The level of proficiency that the virtual world had, it wasn't for them. But I have to think that Tekola wasn't made, it wasn't designed, okay, for primary schools. So I always had that hope that maybe, but it wasn't designed for that, and in the end we couldn't do it, okay. And right now the eLife project it was designed for primary, secondary, for a different level, so it would be different. So it was negative, but I knew it wasn't designed for that. So, and now it was changed. So now we know that eLife will be ready for my children as well. Things to improve, that it's not up to that project, but it's like the lack of time. No, you have to remember that we do this during our lunchtime, after school, after school, at home, after school, at night. So you always have to find the time, because you don't have in your timetable at the school, it's like okay, so Monday is eLife project time, because your head will tell you like forget. So I have to say that I got 2 slots, so 2 45-minute slots for this year, something that I'm very grateful about. But the lack of time, because it's not part of the curriculum, you know what I mean? It's something that you do because you want to implement, you want your children to enjoy it. It's something that is quite tricky, and it's hard, no? And that will be it. Yeah.
Great. What advice would you give to the teachers present here today for their own changes?
Okay, I will say first thing one more time. I know I'm very annoying saying the word flexibility. Be flexible, guys. I can tell you that, for example, I'm not only flexible, be creative and open-minded and ready for things to fail. Not to fail, but as I can tell you what happened. For example, I was having the video call exchange there, and the internet didn't work. Okay. So I had to get my mobile, and I did everything like for 45 minutes, holding the phone in my hands very close to my children for them to be able to see the children's faces, because I couldn't use the board at all. I couldn't use the internet. I had to use my own data. So you have to be flexible. If something doesn't work, please just think of something. Just think of something, because this is a big disappointment. If it doesn't work for you, it's like, okay, it didn't work. All the work that I put, into this, and now it doesn't work. But for the children, I mean, don't forget, the children were expecting this for weeks and getting ready for this for weeks and making an extra effort and eating very quick and coming up the stairs because they wanted to get ready for that, and suddenly it doesn't work. So the faces is like, and you have to make the faces to go up again and to smile again. So just be creative, be open-minded, be flexible, and enjoy it. That's it. Yeah.
Right. Now, Barry,
you still there?
I am still here, yes.
Okay. We're glad that you're still there. You survived.
Yes, I survived. It was very enjoyable. Almost brought tears to my eyes when I saw those children. They were such lovely children.
My gosh. You cannot imagine how much I miss them. I miss them so much.
Yeah. And I'm sorry there was no feedback, because I was wanting to say bravo for several times during your talk, right? Okay, I'm going to turn my camera on. So now, okay, I'm going to start sharing. So now it's our question and answer session. Okay.
Guys,
now,
if you want to ask something, please, easy ones. It's quite late here. It's cold, so my brain is not working 100%.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to ask any questions, either you can send a question through the chat, or viva voce, right? Whatever you want. Well, I was going to ask something, about differentiation, because I think the biggest differentiation took part in the actual exchange by choosing the tasks that they had to do, right? Because you needed to take into account the level of Spanish of your students and the much greater level of English of the other students, right? Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. Because of what you just mentioned right now, so what we thought is like we had a set of questions ready, yeah, and we practiced that. So we knew what they were going to ask my children. So I translated that, because I told you the level of proficiency is really A1, is very basic. I'm talking about my children, no? So I said, well, children, they will ask you this. That is the meaning of this, is this, and we have so now you have to tell me how to answer this, and we'll translate it into Spanish. So that's when it came, like what I told you before, like we practiced the way to pronounce it, we recorded their voices, and they were in a way that, and that was really, it was really like something that they really loved, because as I told you one more time, they realized that someone and it was able to understand them using Spanish. So it's like, wow, this is not my language. I worked on this answer, but the other person understands what I'm saying, because it's answering me something. It's answering me back, no? So it was like it was very very sweet and very engaging as well, because they, as I told, they used it, and all the effort that they put into that worked. So the other person understood. So I can't, have a chat here, but as I told you, we prepared the questions, we prepared the answers before for weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you probably put in a lot more effort preparing your kids than, for example, the others who were speaking, the Spanish kids who were speaking English, because I would invite anyone here to look at the videos in Tekola, and you can hear the Spanish kids, and their English is out of this world, so they probably didn't have to practice very much for their part, but you guys had to put in. I think that's a great case of great example of differentiation, And I also agree with you that the most marvelous thing is they see it's not just an academic subject. It's not just something that they have to do at school. They're actually real people out there, And I think that's the main thing with telecollaboration, that realization that there are people who actually speak that language, you know,
Yeah.
not just their classmates.
And
And
the thing
another-
is, when
Yeah.
it came to picking up the children, I didn't force them to do it. I asked who wants to participate, who wants to be part of this, and they were the ones. And in fact, I to be honest, I had a couple of them who started, and they realized it was a lot of work, and they didn't want to carry on, and that was okay. I said, no, guys, it's like, and they even asked me, how about the report by the end of the year? And I said, no, you're not going to say anything at all. I mean, this is something that you do because you want to enjoy it. So it has nothing to do with your report. It's not going to be negative. It's not going to have a negative impact at all. I want to do it. You are convinced that you want to do it and you think that you're going to enjoy it and you want to make the effort. But it's not negative at all. You don't want to do it. So that's an additional, for them. Yeah.
Okay, well, we have a question from Clara.
Yeah.
Clara Alonso, did anything that was not in the plan come up? Well, I mean, did children at any point feel like talking about other things? If so, how did you manage that?
Not really, because I control my children really well. And they know that they will be in huge trouble, not big trouble, in huge trouble if they don't do the right thing. So they asked me plenty of things after, when the camera was off, like, but Mr. Rosero, how about this? And it is. I said, guys, I don't know the children that well. They wanted to know plenty more, of course, but they have those questions, and because I did it this way because they're children. And sometimes they might think that it's appropriate and it is not, or sometimes they're cheeky and they're children. So you really need to control. You need to have, the limited boundaries, and that's it. And the thing is, this time, because we did only one session, the video call, but in the future we have more than one session. We might be able to ask more things, but always I have to supervise it. I have to tell them it is allowed, and that's it. There's nothing that I'm sorry, but it has to be like that. It's children. I need to make sure that they do the right thing, and it's like safe, and it's like so. It has to be like that. So it's the way. It's my way to do things, and it works for me. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Since you are
Manuel,
going to
behave yourself, Manuel.
Yeah, since you are going to participate again in this project, in a new project, and which thing will change if you could from the previous one, or in case you didn't do a thing you want to do now?
No, it's the only one thing is what I mentioned before. Now I'm going to close my notebook because I already finished. Now it will be like, sorry. The only one thing is what I told you, like the previous project wasn't designed for primary, and what I really expected from this new one, and that's why I got involved one more time. And of course, in addition, because I really like working with Barry and Begonia, for me it's always a pleasure having them around and talking to them. It's always like it's professional, but it's fun at the same time. But I'm excited about seeing how they prepared resources to be accessible for my children, primary school. So that was the main reason. I want my children to make the most of it, because last time I had the feeling that it wasn't. I wanted more. You know what I mean? So I made the effort. I wanted more, and not being able to access the virtual world. It wasn't only bad for them, it was for me as well, because I was disappointed, like oh my god, it was like the final, like I wanted to reach this and I didn't get there. So it's what I expect from this new project. I want to go to the end of it, to the end, to the top of the hill.
Thank you.
But I just wanted to make a comment that I don't think you could find two schools which were as diverse as yours. Well, with regard to the proficiency level, I mean, this was a little school where they not only had English classes, but they also did other subjects in English, so, and I think it proves once again that in telecollaboration you can get two sets of students with varying levels, and they still managed, each cohort still managed to get lots out of the exchange. You can have two groups which are very different in different ways, but we've found out in our experience that there's always a nice something good happening, and they get something good out of it. And the students who are, let's say, less proficient, even in lingua franca in English, for example, they're able to have a conversation, and the other group acts sometimes like substitute teachers, you know, and they help them along. So I just wanted to mention that, because I think your exchange was a good example of that. Okay, they don't have to be two very, very good school set of students in each language, you know. There's always room for people of diverse abilities to get along very well and learn from the experience. Okay, anyone else? I can't see any more questions. If anyone wants to ask a question using the microphone. Easy ones.
Easy ones.
Well, okay, it looks as if we don't have any more questions. Okay, so let us go on to the next part. Okay, so next steps. You can join eLive if you haven't already. There's a sign-up form, as you can see on the web page. And I'd like to add that on the web page you'll find the latest news of what we're doing, and you'll also find links to the recordings of the workshops. Okay, so I don't think I've got anything else to say about that. So we are going to have workshops in December, and they're going to be our virtual world in Frame VR. Frame VR is a VR virtual reality platform. It's a virtual world, and as you probably heard in the last workshop, it's much easier to get into. You don't need any specialized application to get in. You can just use a browser. So the two workshops that we're going to be having in December, they're identical because a limited number of people can join them, but we'll be sending you information on that in the next couple of days. Okay, and if you need any information right now, just get in touch with any of us. Okay, some people don't like social media. I wasn't a big fan of TikTok, but I'm on TikTok, and it's not that bad. But you'll hear we send all our information we send it through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and we're now on Mastodon, whatever that is. We're on that, and we're on Tribal, so you can find us almost anywhere. There's no escaping from eLive. Okay, so thank you very much indeed. I don't know if anyone wants to add anything before we close the session. Okay, so anyway, thank you, Tanya and Clara, for your kind words. So until we see each other again, okay, in this world or in a virtual world. Thank you, Myron.
I will see you in person very soon, Barry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Manuel. Thank you, Begonia.
Thank you,
everyone.
Okie
Thank you for
dokie.
having me.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. Bye-bye.